seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, you know exactly why we're here today, okay? But first, if you're new here, hello, my name is Priyanka, I'm your queer, nerdy brown bestie and spoken word poet who's out here trying to live my most nerdy and authentic life online, and hopefully inspiring you to be your most nerdy and authentic self along the way too. Now, before we jump into the tier list, let's set the vibes and the ground rules. Firstly, if it's not obvious enough already, this is all just a joke, okay? This is all just for fun, so let's go into it with that mindset together, alright? So now let's break down the ranking. So at the S tier, we have Senpai, I'm actually gay, because these are for the characters who you're like, you are so obviously queer. In Another World, I'm Queer is the A tier, because a slightly homophobic society has meant that you can't fully express your queerness, alright? I kept the B tier from my previous tier ranking video, if you haven't seen it, and I don't know why I did, because I hate saying this word, but B tier is baka, I'm not gay. Like, no, but they're still a really lovable character, which is why it's near the top. Next here is But I Am Bisexual, because hello, bi visibility, alright? D tier is I Don't Care, Gender Isn't Real, which is basically the being like, I'll fuck anyone, you know what I mean? I Don't Care, Sexuality is a Spectrum is like people who I think might be ace, or like another form of queer identity that doesn't fit within the binary, because again, in this household, we are all about the spectrum representation of the queer community, alright? And Don't Talk to Me, You're Straight is pretty self-explanatory. Let's get into it. And we are, of course, starting off with our main boy, my G. Check these out, Tanjiro. Also, there will be spoilers for Infinity Castle in this, so if you haven't seen that, just be wary, I will be sprinkling them throughout. And I actually feel very conflicted about these categories now, because he's so lovely. There is not 1 ounce of toxic masculinity anywhere in that man. He needs to be straight though, because he needs to set the example for all the other men around him of what a proper man should be like if they are straight. So I'm thinking with Tanjiro, let's put him in Baka I'm Not Gay, because obviously he's still the sweetest, loveliest boy. He still deserves to be near the top, but we need him to be heterosexual. Oh my god, zenitsu. We need to have a serious discussion about this, because in my last tier ranking video, which you haven't seen it, it's linked above below, I made a prediction about zenitsu. Also, you can't tell me that my boy zenitsu is not a little gay twink, okay? I locked eyes with that man on the screen and I was like, there's a twunk birth coming. And was my prediction not incredibly fucking accurate? If you've seen Infinity Castle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That man has gone through his twunk birth, okay? He is now officially a twunk. I really strongly feel like because of that, Zenitsu is queer and he just has not fully realized it. He's not gay, he's just generally queer. But honestly, I don't think I've seen any straight man be that expressive of their emotions or their anxiety in their whole life. But he's just a queer, anxious twunk, like generally queer. That's the vibe I'm getting. Now, I'm gonna say something a bit controversial. I love the vibe that Inosuke brings to the anime. Would I say he's my favorite character? No. I saw someone do this amazing TikTok where they acted out what a conversation between Tanjiro and Inosuke would be like if Tanjiro was talking to Inosuke about gender. And obviously Inosuke was like, I don't get it. He's just a straight femboy, which I feel like they do exist. We do like him, so I'm keeping him here. My prediction about Nezuko is that she is a lipstick lesbian. And let me explain. I feel like a lot of femme lesbians, a lot of femme queer women in particular, don't always realize they're queer because they're like, oh, I don't look like a lesbian, or I don't look like I'm gay. And so they later realize that actually I am gay, even if I love to wear pink. So she is of course queer in another world. That world also probably being once she's not a demon. Muzan, I don't think any conversation is needed on that one. Next, we have the 2 demons from the Mugen Train arc. Forgive me that I do not remember their names. Now, I feel like she's bi. Not just because of that sick outfit that I was like, absolutely half of my queer friends would wear this, but her whole vibe was being torn between the vibe of like, oh my god, I hate men. And I feel like especially if you're living with your brother inside of you, you're probably also like, ew. But the vibe of like, ooh, I also appreciate women. Women be slaying. And I feel like all of that anger, obviously because of, you know, classism, which is valid, also probably comes from that conflict internally. Also probably from her brother being a little bitch, but we're gonna get into him afterwards. So she is a bisexual. The brother could really go either way. I either see him being like a straight incel who is very fed up and done with the world. And so they hide behind this persona, which actually is really giving, like all of the men on Twitter who hide behind like the beautiful anime girls in their profile pictures. Or based on that hair and that vibe and the kind of sickly eyes, he could be one of the like alternative emo gay boys. But he's one of those twinks that is also a misandrist. You know what I mean? But actually, having talked it out to you, I think the Twitter incel vibe is really what it's giving. Best kind of people, am I right? Now we have those creepy spider demons who were also siblings. I feel like the sister is straight, absolutely. She really wants and craves that affection, and it's giving, I need male attention to survive. I feel like the brother is really just giving like a twink who's completely fed up with the world though. You know, he's like ready to change the world and hates everyone in it though. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. This creepy ass motherfucker. This motherfucking bitch, okay, who killed our home girl. I don't think there's any discussion needed. He would literally fuck anyone. He is exemplary for this category. Akaza, my boy. If you sobbed in the movie, you need to like this video right now because we're on the same wavelength, man. Oh my goodness. I loved him so much. My guy is so in love with his wife. There is absolutely no way that he is anywhere near being queer. Like, he's the guy who would get a tattoo of his wife all over his body, which he literally did, but not in a Ned Filmer way, in a I genuinely love her way. And that's an important distinction to make, I feel like, in 2025. This jar demon motherfucker is the gayest thing I have ever seen on TV. That voice? Also, come on now, he literally looks like a sperm. His eye makeup is really giving queer, but I think very interestingly, that also is what makes him very similar to this guy in that he doesn't give a shit about gender. He will fuck anyone. He's got two mouths for a reason. I really regret saying that. Let's move on. Now, I've actually edited this template, so I'm not 100% sure, but this next guy looks like the upper rank 1 demon. And that man is 1000% straight because you know what he's giving. He's giving women are born to make children and to give birth to my children. He sees marriage and women as like contractual things from like A to B. He don't give a shit about the love, about the romance, about women's rights. Big red flag from me. Oh, Genya. Genya is the tsunderest of the tsunderes, and obviously he's slightly gay for tanjiro. I'm getting slight homophobic vibes from him, you know what I mean? I think because he'd be too embarrassed, and I don't think he could comprehend the idea of like same-sex relationships. And also because he's such a tsundere, I feel like if you told him that you liked him, he would just punch you in the face, which is straight. Now we have the worst offender in the Demon Slayer universe to me, alright? Because he came after my boy Zenitsu, and Zenitsu was like, not today, bitch. And he nearly... Ugh, I hate him. It's of course Zenitsu's spineless brother, who not only hurt my boy, he hurt my grandfather, okay? This man is my relative. Like, I was watching Infinity Castle in the cinema and I gasped when he said what he did. Absolutely not. So, oh, now we have the demon who plays the little guitar. And honestly, she really gives me trans woman vibes because I think a lot of trans women historically, right, have been the secret orchestrators of a lot of important parts of history that people just haven't realized. For example, Pride was started by a trans woman, so big up Marsha P. Johnson. And in the same way, I feel like this woman, because she just does this one thing, everyone underestimates her, but she literally has her eyes on everything. She knows exactly what's going on. She's orchestrating all of these incredible memes. But I do feel like she's a trans woman who is straight, who has a very big crush on Muzan, because why else would she sit there all day like that? Therefore, she must unfortunately go in this category. Oh my god, now we have my boy Giyu. Giyu is 1000% an angsty gay, because why else would he have been holding himself back his entire life based on his friendship with another man? He's just holding all of this pain inside of him, and you know he absolutely writes angsty, lustful emo poems about this boy. So let's say, you know what, he's pretty gay. Gyomei is quite interesting because I feel like he's giving the vibe of a straight man who wants to have a wife and have a life and like fulfill the stuff that he couldn't have when he was a kid. But of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not queer, because religious or not, no straight man is wearing pearls that big. But actually, straight men nowadays have started wearing pearls. You know what? He's straight. He wants a wife, he wants a family, he wants a house with his big ass pearls. Oh, my girl Shinobu. R.I.P. She was the realist. I was thinking this the whole time I was watching the movie, but I just get really strong bisexual vibes from her. I feel like butterflies and purple and also loving bugs are all incredibly bisexual activities and vibes. Plus, I feel like she's the kind of person who, girl, she could really stand her ground, okay? If someone said bisexuals aren't real, she'd be the first person in there to be like, actually, you're incorrect. Now we come to my girl, Mitsuri kanroji, my girl. I literally cosplayed her yesterday. Very interestingly, as someone who considers themselves to be a lot like Mitsuri, I think she is 1000% bisexual. Obviously, she is incredibly boy crazy, but have you seen that man? That man is exactly the kind of man that you would date if you were bisexual. If you're bi, you know exactly what I mean. Having a very specific taste in men. That's like usually the golden retriever men, the emo men, the slightly alternative men. And of course, if someone has a snake round their neck, that's not exactly your typical straight man, is it? And I think someone as peppy and bubbly and like fun and as open-minded as she is and accepting and loving would probably not be straight. Now, Obanai, we've already discussed. I think he has potential to be like an alternative bi boy, but unfortunately, he's just so straight in my mind. Like, he is one of those alternative TikTok emo boys. Also, let's be real, that level of possession would probably only come from a straight man. My boy Muichiro is incredibly gay for Tanjiro. Incredibly gay. Have you seen all of the compilations? And if you haven't, you should, of what his face looks like when Tanjiro walks into the room? Have you seen that man light up? There's no way that is a straight response. Oh my goodness. Sanemi is giving straight man with anger issues, and I do not think that needs any further exaggeration. Only a straight man with anger issues would push their brother away when they're trying to make amends, and then go and complain about the male loneliness epidemic. You brought this on yourself. Now we have Shinobu's sister. I get the vibe that she's very similar to Gyomei in that she could potentially be gay, but she really wanted like a house and a family and security and all of those things. So actually, let's change her to in another world I'm queer, because I feel like if maybe they lived in a society where women didn't have to do that, she might be. Kanao is really giving like shy, quiet, cute, straight girl. Like I kind of put her on the same wavelength as Akaza's wife with a lot more female rage, but still within that category, so straight. Oh my god, Rengoku, R.I.P. the realist, is a very interesting case because I've seen on TikTok a lot of the times when people are like playing him as a character, they portray him as straight, but that man is flamboyant as fuck, literally. Like it could really go either way, where I could see him being the kind of person where like he's very accepting of queer people because he's like, I don't really get it, but okay. Or he could just be like so focused on other things that he doesn't experience like romantic or sexual attraction. So let's put, he's the first one to go in this category, alright? Rengoku's brother is 1000% straight though. He is really giving regimented tradition, wife, baby's child. My boy Tengen, I feel like this is not even a conversation. He does not care about gender. I mean, he's literally in a poly relationship, a poly marriage. He knows sexuality is a spectrum. He knows gender isn't real. He will get with anyone and add to his circle of people in his life. Also, I have no idea what it is, but something about the jewelry really says I am queer. We know that queers love jewelry. He is no exception. Tengen's first wife, Hinatsuru, because we are saying their names in this household, we're not just referring to them as Tengen's wives. She is totally straight, like, She's really giving like grounded and like, ooh, I know what I want. I know who I am. She likes those boxes. Maiko, I feel like, is 100% bisexual, veering into the realm of butch lesbian, but is slightly still attracted to men. Also, by the way, did you know that she's Tengen's cousin? That's a fun fact for you. But like, she's very skilled in the martial arts. Also, hello. The strips of hair. That's such a bisexual look. I feel like Suma has too many emotions and too much openness and compassion to not be considered pansexual or just someone who is generally queer. I feel like she's most on the same wavelength with Tengen because she's the kind of person who is as flamboyant as he is. I forgot this guy was on here, but the guy who is in the Demon Slayer corpse and is the one that's running around and getting stuff sorted, he is gay. He's giving the kind of person who hides his sexuality at work and like doesn't share anything about himself in his work environment, and is the kind of person who would completely slip under your gaydar, but then like will go home and get it, you know what I mean? Because also, he's just busy. He just wants to get things done. He's a professional. Now it's this demon who shrunk down and was the most annoying bitch ever. I forget his name, but the doctor's assistant, is he giving angry twink or angry bisexual? You know what? That hair is giving brat girl summer, and that's where the line differentiates. He is bi. Because also, why has he stuck around and protected the doctor for so long if he doesn't like women? He's not a twink that's a misandrist. He is in fact open-minded, but he just hasn't had that opportunity yet. Oh, Tanjiro's mom is just straight. Like, come on. Have you seen the number of children she's pumping out? That's a straight woman's work. Interestingly though, his dad is giving gay man who was forced into a relationship, or actually even bisexual man who wasn't able to explore the other parts of his sexuality, and maybe those children are overcompensating for something. Just saying. Oh, Koyuki. The realist, the real one. I don't even think she's ever had a thought about being anything other than straight. To be fair, she's probably not had a thought about anything other than surviving, but like, those two are so like, this is my person, this is my life, this is my partner. It's just tunnel vision straightness. Not in a bad way. Good for them. I just would like to know what it's like to be that certain about everything. Anyways, now we have the girly from the hospital. She's really giving ace. I feel like she's really giving, I don't care about any of this stuff. You'll just need to get on with your life. Romance is a waste of time. Blah, blah, blah. The water hashira old man, whose name I also don't remember. Girl, he is straight. He is just giving wife, kids. I want that life for myself. But I never had it because I was forced to train these boys. The doctor, whose name I think is Yuichiro? Something like that. I feel like if you're that educated in that time period and you're so like open-minded, you gotta be like, gender and sexuality isn't real. I am who I am, surely. Now, interestingly, I think Ubayashiki is the kind of man who would be more openly queer if he wasn't brought up in a household where, like, obviously he needed to continue the family name and continue the bloodline, but also look at his wife choice. She's giving bisexual baddie, you know what I mean, with that white hair as well. Let's put her where she needs to go, because honestly, it's giving like lavender marriage, but like the bisexual version of a lavender marriage. I guess that's a normal marriage. Hopefully that made sense. And finally, one of the most important baddies, the birds. I put this image on here to represent all the birds, because girl, I'm not going through them one by one, but I feel like if you're a bird who can talk, would you not want to be gay? They got a job to do, but it's giving polycule. It's like a bird polycule. They've got a rotation of all of them going on at the same time. When one of them's not working, they're, you know? And there we have it, my definitive ranking of how gay I think all of the Demon Slayer characters are. If you like this format, you should really check out my video where I tier rank different animes based on their gay vibes. And if you like this, please let me know in the comments, because this video actually came off the heels of that video where I was requested to do more videos like this. And if you want me to do this for different characters, if you want me to do this for more animes as well, let me know in the comments. And of course, let me know what you thought of these rankings. And as always, I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you over there in the next video.